set.
Go, Birdie, go! Go, Birdie!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the property transformation here. Last night we got about an inch of rain and the wind's too windy for us to spray today. So we're gonna be working here in the auger graveyard on the old semi-trailer that I ripped apart the other day. We're gonna get that cleaned up, hopefully get it chopped up into some little pieces. And then if we have time, we're gonna start chopping up these augers.
Well guys, what I'm doing today, doing some cemetery running around. We had to meet a couple families on some burials coming up, but I got a call, we got a burial coming up sometime in a real old section of our cemetery, probably in a section of the cemetery. I bet it's been 20 years since we've dug up here. So I wanted to kind of see where the family marked the spot out. That's one thing with our job. Sometimes you got to run around, meet families and stuff, you know. I know it's hard sometimes for the families to come out here due to the situations, but we really appreciate it because we want to make sure we're doing things right on our end, and we want things so when the family comes out, it's where everything's supposed to be. So it's easier to do it sometimes in person, to meet the people, and so we always respect and thank the families for coming out and just taking the time so we can make sure the burials are correct, the first time. Everybody's been asking where Cooper's been lately. Well, Cooper's been off making a lot of hay lately. He's been doing some other jobs for some of his friends. He's been keeping pretty busy, but he's been in and out of the farm here. Looks clean.
Hello!
Listen to the sound of this. This is pretty cool. Doesn't that sound really neat? Well, this is what it is. It's the air compressor. It's pumping up the air to the semi. There's no motor. We won't do too much filming there. You guys get on Cooper's webpage or YouTube channel or whatever, the Golden Mullet, or if you look on Cole's link, I gotta remember the name of it. I think it's called the Golden Mullet. Hold it, let me check. Cooper's channel is called the Magic Mullet, but he'll be doing some videos pretty soon on that semi.
Yeah, not so tough when you're in a pile now, are ya? This snapped in half just by me pushing it around with the telehandler. I was honestly hardly even pushing on this. Just snapped it right off. Piece of junk came and hold up to getting dropped 50 feet in the air by a telehandler. Now this is too big to fit into a trailer here, so I think what I'm gonna do is get the torch in here. I'll cut this main steel frame in half here, and I'll probably chop that up into a little bit more manageable pieces here on this back axle. And holy cow, we already have raccoons walking around over here. Silly things. That is another reason why I'm really looking forward to getting all of this stuff picked up, because right now it's like a perfect haven for raccoons over there and all the trees, and then they can hide under the junk piles. We get groundhogs over here, and then they get into our buildings, they dig under the concrete and then ruin the floors, and nobody likes having a ruined floor. But also, we get rats that hide out here. And those rats do the same thing. And they also chew through wires, and they get in equipment, and they chew through a bunch of other stuff, and then they pee all over and everything reeks. So I'm looking forward to getting this cleaned up so that way we can control our animals. Because if you didn't know, sitting on top of that bin with an infrared scope makes a pretty decent rodent control method.
One of my boys called this morning. I think his name was Cole. Anyhow, about 7 o'clock this morning, there was a load of bin equipment that came in, and Cole was gonna unload that. Well, now it's 10 o'clock and I just called to see how that went, and he goes, "We haven't unloaded nothing yet, it was raining." I'm gonna jump in the truck here in a second, take my sweet time, get over there and help them, because I guess they gotta move a bunch of equipment out of the shed. Before I go over to Cole's, I wanna run back quick and see what they got done on the semi last night. Brand new motor going in that truck.
Just got a call this morning from Tom, the trucker, and he's here with more grain bins. So we're gonna clear out the big machine shed here, that way we can get all the bin sheets inside. The reason why we gotta put them inside is we can't have them get wet when they're stacked together like this, because water gets in there, and then we'll get some white rust going on. And who wants a white rusty bin?
tickler bone. Cole got to load up high. We just want to show you something. We actually set this up, but see how that was up high? We got electrical wires running up here. These are 3-phase, so there's a lot of juice going through there. This is where a guy's got to be really, really careful when you're running stuff like this. If you're not paying attention, if Cole would have caught that, that would have been very, very dangerous. Like I said, we set that up. That was staged. We knew what we were doing. We stayed away from it, but we just want to show you guys, we really got to think when we're using equipment. Seeing all this stuff starting to arrive now all at once, a bunch of stuff. I would think the bin guys should be getting closer to trying to get our cement poured and stuff. The ball's going to start ticking real fast soon of these guys rolling hard. All right, we got him unloaded. I'm kind of getting very, very excited to see this stuff starting to go up. And then as a farmer, I start looking at the calendar. You know, before we know it, harvest is going to be here. Just like to get this stuff up, have plenty of curing time for the cement, and just make sure everything's working. But I know these groups like this, when they get to your place, our heads spin. They know what they're doing. Their group just... This is where it's a little tricky getting in our doors. Our doors here are 30 foot wide. Them things look maybe a little longer than that. He's got to wiggle it in at an angle without bending it up. His heart's beating fast. He's nervous. He's like, oh crap, oh, he hit the corner. Hopefully he didn't bend anything. Oh, I thought he hit the corner, but I guess not. We're gonna have a shop full of stuff here. It's gonna be nice when everything's empty, the bins are up. We can use this building for storage, for machinery. We're really looking forward to that. And it's starting to get hot and humid out. Perfect, perfect, perfect. A lot of teamwork goes involved with all this stuff. I think we're still in the front semi, and if we are, there's a lot of stuff to unload yet. I'm just amazed all the stuff they can get on these trucks.
Now, it might not look like it, but this took us about 2.5 hours to unload, so we got the first truck done here. So Chuck's gonna take off heading back to Nebraska. You know, honestly, if he left this truck here, I wouldn't be offended. I like it.
Oh, let's hope this guy don't go in the grass. Somebody will get bent out of shape.
Attaboy, Tom. Nice and straight, nice and straight. Stay off my grass.
I don't know if you can see way back there, but it looks like we got a big load of stuff here.
You stayed off the grass, so good job.
Thanks, bud.
Tom, I think what you need is a graffitied picture of your face down the side of this.
You think so? I feel like there'd be a lot of people swerving at me.
You'd get all kind of tickets for distracted driving.
Or a lot of phone numbers from girls.
Oh, hey, Dad, you're charging him $50 for a signature, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you later, Tom. I did not think he was ever going to leave.
I didn't think we were ever going to get all the stuff unloaded. It just kept like growing on their trailers. That was a lot of stuff we unloaded.
What time is it? It's 3:19. I started moving stuff at 10:08. It's 3:19. You guys want to know a really sad fact? That box is $17,000. The box that Dad's buying, 63 grand.
Then you look in there and it's just like, why does it cost so much?
Holy smokes. Let him eat, let him eat.
Yeah. When you look at this one, I think it'd fry a person before you even knew it hit you.
Holy smokes. You know that one movie where the guy shrinks down to a miniature sized person and then all normal sized stuff is just gargantuan? This is like a normal sized fuse box, but
yeah.
Another sad but true fun fact is all the stuff I have laying behind me here, combined with all the stuff laying back there, over $400,000. $400,000. 400. Oh. Hey, Dave, you showed up just in time. We were actually just talking about you.
And he was just coming back from vacation, so he's ready to go to work.
No, I'm not.
Hi, boy. Hey, how are you? How are you?
Come here.
Yeah, seen it for a while. Trying to get the hay and everything put back in the shed. Talking maybe some rain tonight, and we don't want the things to get wet. Sounds like Cooper has this hay sold. Oh, I love the smell of fresh hay.
I'll keep this short and simple, but the reason why we have Dave out is right now we have our pit in the ground, and this hole is 7 foot deep, and when we dug the bottom of it, there's like 4 inches of water still at the bottom. And so my concern is when we set the pit in there, I don't want this to be having water there. So Dave is our tiling guy, and what we're thinking of doing is putting some tile lines right here in the bottom. That way we can run the water out of the bottom, basically like a drain in a bathtub. So essentially, what we're gonna need to do is dig this down to 8 foot, and then we're gonna be building concrete little structures right here for the pit itself to sit on top of. And then we're gonna fill this little center part with gravel. So that way it kind of acts like a little filter, and it allows water to run freely through it, but it keeps corn and other debris out from plugging up our French drains that'll be below it. So basically we're gonna have a giant bathtub underground. So basically, in other words, we're gonna take our water line from right here to basically down here. So at this point, it'll be well below where the bottom of the pit is going to be. So that way everything up here should be nice and dry. And then as a backup secondary thing, in case we do have issues with this or we get a ton of rain and this hasn't filtered out enough, we're also going to be putting in a separate sump pump spot, so that way we can lower a sump pump down into this hole, and then we can pump that water out. I don't know if we're going to go above ground yet or into the tile. I'd really like to go into the tile. I don't know how hard that is to set up, but we're going to figure it out once we start building this. Right now is the time for us to be spending a lot of time just planning, thinking ahead, a lot of what-if scenarios, because nothing's really built yet. And now's the time to make the changes on those things, because we can make the changes. Once concrete's poured and stuff's laid into the hole, we're not going to be able to do anything to it. So we need to be thinking way down the road right now, so that way we already have our ducks in line. I just want to thank everybody for tagging along with us today. It was a pretty slow day. The unloading process isn't a lot of fun, but it's one of those things that had to be done, and it's part of the $1 Million Bin Site build. So it's glad to take you guys along with. Just a quick reminder, you can get 15% off Pit Vipers through the link in the description, and you can also get Cornstar Farms merch available down there as well. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.